Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new reaction and review. Tonight, guys, I'm doing another movie off the Amazon wish list. This one's something a little bit special. This here's a film I've been sort of interested in a long time. Partially because it's based on a anime and manga franchise I've never had a chance to see. The movie is The Fist of the North Star. You're probably wondering why the hell I'm not showing you the disc yet. Well, because it's not the Fist of the North Star you might be thinking of. No. This is not the Japanese animated series or any of the animated movies. No. This is the American version of Fist of the North Star that came out in 1995. Yeah. I don't know if this is going to be any good either. Because let me tell you guys everything I know about Fist of the North Star. Main character's name is Kenshiro. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. And he has a martial arts technique that is so nasty, so violent, so absolutely badass that it can render any human being into essentially water. It basically makes them explode like a water balloon full of blood and giblets. That's all I fucking know. Okay, I know nothing else about Fist of the North Star besides it's really nasty, it's really violent, and it sounds fucking amazing. At some point I really am going to have to go and find the series and give it a watch, or look for the manga and give it a read. I don't care, I'm really sort of curious. Now, the good news is, the movie was rated R, and according to the back here, it was rated R for continuous brutal and gory violence and brief language. Well, the fact that it has the brutal and gory violence, that tells me that they probably at least attempted to make the actual Fist of the North Star effect of bodies exploding. They probably actually attempted that. Now, whether or not it's going to be any good, well, that's what I'm about to find out. Now, something is a little bit weird here. See, I have the IMDb page for this movie up right now, and according to this, the movie's runtime is 103 minutes. And the version in the UK only runs 88. What's weird, this DVD has a version that's 92 minutes long. So that means that it's somewhere between these two runtimes, and I don't know why. And yes, I actually double checked the fucking disc, the disc itself, and this is not a typo. The version on this thing runs 93 minutes, so apparently they had to cut something between the theatrical cut and this one, and it still retained an R rating. So perhaps maybe I'm going to be missing out on something. I don't know. I don't care. I'm just curious if the U.S. did anything good with this. I'm wondering if the U.S. version of Fist of the North Star is even halfway tolerable. And there's only one way to find that out. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Fist of the North Star. Alright guys, I would just like to say this right now. I hope and pray that this film's dialogue is not lifted directly from the fucking manga, because if it is, then the dialogue in Fist of the North Star is some of the shittiest in recorded history. I swear to God, the dialogue in this movie is shit, and it's just started. I'm hoping for it to actually improve, but I kind of have my doubts. Wow, so we get to see him use his fucking technique, but we don't get to see the guy's head explode. That actually feels like a little bit of a cop-out to me. However, seeing as how every other effect in that scene was almost laughably shit, I'm going to assume I didn't miss much, but still, it would have been nice to have seen something gruesome instead of seeing, well, nothing. You know what I mean? Alright, I'd just like to say this right now. For a movie that was rated R for, I'm going to quote this, it was for continuous brutal and gory violence. This film is ridiculously light on violence so far. In fact, this film isn't even interesting. It's just boring as shit. And I kind of wish that something would happen, but so far No, in fact, very very little of this is making a whole lot of sense because, well, there isn't a whole lot of story driving anything going on here. You know, guys, I'm just gonna come right out and say it. There actually is no polite way of putting this. I was kind of hoping for this movie to be good, or at least interesting, but no. Stupid Thing's almost putting me to fucking sleep. It's a little over halfway done, and I don't see it improving. Unfortunately, I'm not able to just stop it and say fuck it and walk away. No, I have to sit here and finish it. Sometimes it kind of sucks when you have your own rules set. Oh, fuck me, no. Chris Penn's back on camera. Good. At least now I can say this. Whoever the hell told Chris Penn he could act should be beaten, because the man has no fucking talent, and every time I see him in any movie, I almost have to weep. Wow! That was the most poorly acted, shitty death scene I have ever seen in any fucking movie ever. Alright, so we are supposed to feel sorry and sad that this fucking shithead's dead, but you know what? That death scene... God, that was just brutally shitty. Holy fuck, man. Well, guys, here it is. The final battle. The big, epic showdown between our hero, Ken fucking Shiro, and the villain, Shin. You would think that you would think that they would do something with it to make it special, to make you care. I'm looking at it right now, and I don't give a rat's ass. It's really sad when your final battle is so piss poor and shit that you don't care. But I will get to cover that more when the movie's done. But I just sort of wanted to cover it now while I'm seeing it. Oh, sweet God, yes. It's done. God, fuck this movie. Okay, oh boy. Well, that was The Fist of the North Star. Where to fucking start? Acting. Let's cover acting. Earlier, I singled out one actor in particular. I sort of zeroed in on Chris Penn. And for those of you who don't know, Chris Penn has been in a lot of films. He's been in Reservoir Dogs. He's been in Rush Hour. He basically has been in just tons and tons and tons of films, and what I've noticed is he has a very bad habit of sucking in every film he's ever been in. I don't care if he's fucking dead. I'm going to say this right now. When he was alive, Chris Penn had all the acting talent of a dead salmon, and that comes out loud and clear in every film the man has ever been in. Now, I guess the reason why it stood out here is because I've noticed it in every other film he's been in. I probably wouldn't have noticed it as much though if perhaps maybe his shitty acting was on par with the shitty acting of the rest of the fucking cast, but no. While everybody else is turning in a very, very wooden showing, he somehow is able to outdo them in the lifelessness department when it comes to actually making us give even half a rat's ass about his character. Now, while I am on that subject, yes, the rest of the acting in this movie is just about as wooden as can be. Everybody is fucking delivering their, lines as if they're reading them off of cue cards a couple of feet away. Except for two actors. I would like to mention two actors because they didn't turn in a wooden performance. The first one is the actor in the film who had probably the highest pedigree amongst them, because I think everyone's heard of Malcolm McDowell. For better or for worse, usually for better. We've all heard of Malcolm McDowell. The guy can usually turn in a fantastic showing. Granted, yes, he does have a habit of, going and hamming up his act a little bit, but that's fine. Especially to someone like me who actually is able to respect hammy acting. Now, the problem here is when everybody else is turning in a showing that is this fucking wooden, and you decide to ham it up as if you were William Shatner, all of a sudden you seem almost clownish, and it doesn't work out. I mean, because he is in this film for a very short time, and in that time I almost found myself laughing at just how much he was trying to overact everything, where I wasn't able to take his stuff seriously, and top it off, I wasn't able to take anybody else's shit seriously because nobody else cared. Except for the other actor. This is the actor who turned in the best showing in this entire film, and that is an actor by the name of Leon White. Professional wrestling fans know him better as Vader. Yeah, guys, Vader has a small role in this flick, and he's the only one who turns in a balanced showing. I swear, he actually is not hamming it up too much, which is funny, because he's basically just doing what he does whenever he cuts a promo, which is still hamming it up a little bit, but it still seems balanced compared to what Malcolm McDowell turned in. So, shit, it's really funny that Vader is the dude who turned in the best showing in this flick, and he's in it for like 3 minutes, if even. So, you know, that's saying a whole lot when a guy who barely acts, such as Vader, is able to outact everybody else in the film, including Malcolm McDowell. Now, I really wish I could say that there was anyone else who turned in a balanced showing or even a passable performance, but no. We got none of that. We got absolutely no love in terms of decent acting. I'd like to talk about the writing next, because I know that this is an adaptation of the Fist of the North Star manga and anime, and if this thing is in any way loyal to any of the story arcs from that franchise, I really dread to watch the anime. Mind you, I'm still going to, as soon as I get a chance, as soon as I find a couple episodes, I'm probably going to give it a watch, because even if the writing from the anime is questionable, it can't be as bad as the shit I just fucking saw. So, if anything, this thing has sort of driven me to want to watch the anime even more, just to spite this stupid thing, hoping and praying that I find some kind of a positive out of it. Jesus Christ. The writing here. Okay, I'm going to assume that they just took a single story arc from the Fist of the North Star series and they tried to compress it down to 92 minutes. I'm going to cover the runtime too in just a moment. But they, I guess, did it, and it apparently was not the best thing to do, because nothing here made any fucking sense. Nothing actually was fleshed out. The characters are all literally as lifeless as possible, which is probably why the actors didn't really do a whole lot, because there was nothing to work with here. Because they didn't have time to actually flesh out a single character or a single element of any of this. So you basically wind up, watching it going, why the fuck should I care about any of these characters? We had a character who dies at one point, and you should feel absolutely horrible about it. Unfortunately, because they never fucking fleshed him out at all, and the fact that the acting in the death scene was so bad that it made me fucking laugh should tell you exactly how poorly that was fucking executed. Just shit, guys. I really wanted to like this movie. I really hoped it was just going to be good, old-fashioned, cheesy fun, but no, nada. Let me cover the runtime quick before I happen to forget. Yes, this one here clocks in at 92 minutes. According to both the IMDb and Wikipedia, the theatrical version of this motherfucker runs an extra 10 minutes longer. I strongly doubt that those extra 10 minutes are going to actually improve this film in any way, shape, or form, but it would have been nice to know exactly what the hell I missed. And I'm looking at this, and amongst the DVD features there isn't even deleted scenes, so I don't even know what the fuck was cut. I have no idea what in the hell's missing between the theatrical version and this one, nor do I know exactly what extra, like 4 fucking minutes or so was added to this thing from the British cut. By the way, while I'm on the subject of cuts and everything else, I want to talk about the rating. Because again, I said at the start of this thing, the movie was rated R, and the reason, as posted on the back here, rated R for continuous brutal and gory violence, I call bullshit. Alright? Let me just sum this up for you guys right now. The total amount of gore in this film maybe takes up about a minute to a minute and a half of the overall film. Okay? That also counts everything which could be considered as brutal violence. Now, the fact that the movie runs 92 minutes and less than 2 minutes of it could actually be seen as brutal or gory tells me that this rating is full of shit. Now, I would like to state that if those 2 minutes of brutal violence and gore were cut, then all we would have had is a by-the-numbers martial arts film with even less of a plot. And that's really fucking sad when you sit down and you genuinely think about it. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, if you ever see a copy of this thing anywhere, I don't care where. I do not care if you see this thing in the 99-cent bin somewhere. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your time. If, for whatever reason, this stupid thing is on Netflix or if it's on fucking Hulu, don't waste the time watching it. Believe me, you are going to feel a hell of a lot better just not knowing the absolute levels of shit this film is. Now, before I leave, as I stated earlier, Fist of the North Star came off the Amazon wish list. The person who sent it in, I really hope I'm saying this screen name correctly. It is Albedo238. I'm going to link to that user's channel, and I would like to thank you because, well, I guess it's my own stupid fault for being curious if this thing was any good. But at least now I know, and now I never have to wonder anymore. I now no longer have to see this thing sitting at places like, well, I've actually seen copies of this thing at Best Buy. I no longer have to look at it and go, I wonder if this thing is any fucking good. It obviously is not. And frankly, I'm just sort of happy I never have to worry about watching it again. There's no way in hell I'm wasting the time. So, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.